Alright, second video for the day. In case you guys haven't noticed, Facebook is out. And I only realised because it's apparently trending on Twitter. I don't use Facebook. Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Facebook Messenger experience outage. And I can tell you now, well, this is probably going to be funny because I've probably got it back up by now. But this is what happens when you go to the Facebook website. Hello? Absolutely nothing happens because it doesn't load. There we are. We're having trouble finding that. Okay. So Facebook is still down hours later. So Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, and Facebook Messenger have gone down in a major outage in the company's service. Everybody called the Gen Zers and the people born after that. They might be suicidal. Outage website Down Detector noticed a spike in user reports relating to the services which shared back-end infrastructure at about 2:45 a.m. Australian time. We're aware that some people are having trouble accessing the apps and products, Facebook said on Twitter. Some people? Really? Because I'm apparently you can't find a server. So I think it's a little bit more than some people, but regardless. So we're working to get things back to normal as quick as possible and we apologise for any inconvenience. Well, it's been 4 hours later and we're still down. So, you know, obviously it's taking a little time. On Twitter, Facebook Communicator Director Andy Stone said the company was aware of the reported problems and working to get things back to normal as quickly as possible. However, multiple security experts pointed to a domain name system problem as a possible culprit. The company did not say what might have caused the outage. Facebook's own site would not load at all, which is what we were experiencing. Instagram and WhatsApp were accessible, but could not load new content or send messages. Technology expert Trevor Long told Today he thinks the outage is a technical error, but couldn't completely rule out that it was an attack. He expected the issue could persist for hours, which obviously it has. 4 hours later, it's still going. At a glance, it's been down for a couple of hours now. At a glance, I would potentially guess it's a DNS error, he told Today. I doubt that. No, not really. But anyway, it's been a couple of hours already, which makes me think it's not a simple error at their end, actually. I don't think it's a DNS error. More like the DNS server's gone down. But anyway. This is the worst time for them. Morning here, afternoon in America, evening in Europe. This is the worst possible time, which is also fuels the rumours that it could have been an attack. Thinking about the number of people in government and otherwise using WhatsApp as communication tools. If you're in government, don't use WhatsApp. So what you've done is disable Facebook, is disable communication between a lot of people who are now reverting to other systems. Oh no, please don't. Oh. What are the Gen Zers going to do and the new millennials and whatnot? Oh no, they're all going to be suicidal. Oh no, we're not going to be able to access Facebook. It's the end of the world, everybody. Die! It's literally an impression of a Gen Zer right now. So, interesting enough, right? Facebook is going through a major crisis after a whistleblower who was at the source of the series of the Wall Street Journal stories exposed the company's awareness of internal research into the negative side effects of its products, and decision went public on 60 Minutes in the US on Sunday. And then less than a day later they're down. Okay, interesting. France Hugen was identified in the interview as the woman who anonymously filed complaints with federal law enforcement that the company's own research showed how it magnifies hate and misinformation, leads to increased polarization, and that Instagram specifically can harm teenage girls' mental health. The journal's stories called Facebook Files painted a picture of company focused on growth and its own interest instead of the public good. Mrs. Hugen released thousands of pages of internal documents to regulators, and the Wall Street Journal is set to testify before the Senate subcommittee on Tuesday. So Facebook has obviously tried to downplay the research. Nick Clegg, the company's vice president of policy of public affairs, wrote to Facebook and employees in a memo on Friday that social media has a big impact on society in recent years, and Facebook is often a place where much of the debate plays out. No, it doesn't, because you ban everybody. The US shares of Facebook went down more than 5% in the midday trading on Monday, early Tuesday, Australian Eastern Time, and that's when the outage happened. Oh boy, isn't that inconvenient? Putting it on pace for its worst trading day in nearly a year. And then the shares, and then the servers went down. Oh boy, isn't that inconvenient? And by the way, still down. Yep, still down. Alright, so that in itself is interesting. But we do also have this, which we should probably talk about. So, Facebook whistleblower donated 36 times to Democrats, including anti-primary extremists and AOC. Facebook whistleblower Frances Haugen, I'm probably getting that name wrong, is a long-time Democrat donor supporting campaigns for far-left extremists such as Alexandria Cortez. She's also donated money to an activist group actively attempting to derail the US primary process that allows ordinary members of the public to beat out establishment career politicians, the National Post can reveal. So, bowing to the establishment. Haugen's whistleblowing has been laundered by the corporate media, a sure sign that rather than being a sole actor attempting to call out corporate abuse, she is likely backed by some heavy interests. Hefton first anonymously leaked the internal documents before revealing her identity and calling for mass censorship on the Facebook. But only if political ideas she opposes. We're starting to get the idea now, aren't we? The National Post thus far has identified 36 donations from Haugen during her time as an employee of Facebook, Pinterest, and Gidstar. All the donations, which total nearly $2,000 since December 2016, have gone to Democrats, including AOC. On January 13th, 2020, Haugen sent money to AOC's congressional campaign and a further contribution to her Courage to Challenge Political Action Committee. All endorsements will embed the idea of racist, social, economic, and environmental justice as promises of the PAC. Haugen's most recent donation was August 4th, sending $100 to the Democrat Senatorial Campaign Committee. In keeping with her wishes to purge political views other than from hers from social media, Haugen has also donated to a left-wing resistance group, which lists as one of its top priorities the dismantling of the US primary process for elections. America is somewhat unique in the world stage in its committee to decentralize process nearby ordinary citizens can become politicians. It's pretty perhaps the most democratic part of the US elections. But in the words of Haugen-backed It Starts Today campaign, the modern partisan primary, particular with the GOP, has turned out to have an unintended consequence: extremism in our elected officials and dysfunction in our legislators. There is, of course, more extremism on the political left in the Congress than the political right, but as of June 2021, the group funded by Act Blue's Jonathan Zucker decided that the way to beat Republican was not to win the battle of ideas, but rather to stop the real conservatives winning primaries. Haugen donated twice to It Starts Today, and curiously claims about it holds donations for Democratic primary nominees until the end of the process selection. Haugen's loathing of free speech tracks with her disdain for the Democrat process. Her previous roles including working at Google, which paid for her degree of Harvard Business School. So basically, what's the gist of all this? What does it mean? Instagram and Facebook and WhatsApp have all gone down. This happens the day after, or not even a day, after a whistleblower, air quotes, has come out and claimed that at the end of the day, there's too much extremism and that Facebook and whatnot funnel extremism. And she's also made a complaint to the appropriate bodies. But the same girl that is claiming there's too much extremism on Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram, presumably, has also gone through and donated money to charities that are trying to ban or censor people on the internet. So let me ask you this question. Hypothetical. If you want to stop people from expressing ideas on the internet, if you want to censor people on the internet, do you think it would work if you were to go through and file a complaint with the... Where should you make the complaint again? I can't remember where she filed the complaint with the regulators, right? So if you want to get Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram to start banning people because you don't like their ideas. So you come out and you claim that Facebook is encouraging extremism. You make a complaint to the regulator because at the end of the day, you know you're going to get called in front of Senate and the Congress or whatever it may be, or at least this case will. It'll be pulled in front of the regulators, and hopefully that will then allow Facebook to take drastic measures and bow to the regulators to then start censoring people that are extremists. Sounds like a solid plan to me. Also sounds like she probably didn't come up with it herself. I think there's other people pulling the strings. And that's what I think this is all about. Obviously, we'll still check this. That's still done. But as for this, I think they're on the money. I think at the end of the day, she is a pawn. She has gone through, she's got this documentation, she's leaking it because she doesn't agree with the extremism on Facebook, mostly probably conservative. So at the end of the day, she sees that as extremism. So her complaint or her idea is you take Facebook in front of the regulators, make them bow to public pressure to ban extremism. Oh, and by the way, who do we get to control the extremism on the internet? Well, we're going to get George Soros and his lackeys and his friends, right? And they're going to start banning more conservatives. So it seems like a pretty solid plan. And at the end of the day, I don't think a lot of people are going to get it. But this to me is pretty nefarious. I would say this has been cooked up. Someone's cooked this up. But guys, let me know your thoughts over in the comment section below. As for this, look, I say she's doing this because she wants to increase censorship. And that's what she's doing. That's the plan. But let me know your thoughts in that comment section below. Obviously, this video has been helpful. Please smack that like button. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. This will be the last video for the day. There was one before this. We're talking about a Lamborghini and a girl driver. But apart from that, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night. Enjoy yourself and stay safe.